So what is up, guys? You got your boy Jet Stinger here today, and today we are back with some reverse 1999 content here for you guys today. And today we're going to be talking about Kanjira. You see her on the screen. We're going to talk about her kit, best partners, recommended cubes, and everything like that. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So Kanjira is a 5-star sub DPS that can deal debuffs and poison on the enemy. So she has quite a few functionalities for what she's trying to do, but the main one is going to be a part of obviously the poison meta team, which involves our most recently released 6-star, which is Jessica. I'm going to go ahead and just spoil that for you because that's the main reason why most people will be considering to use Kanjira in this day and age. I'll talk about the key component of why you should use her with Jessica and everything so people can understand, but yeah. Let's go and talk about her skill. Her first skill, which is the ultimate, the Song of Wandering. It is a 300% mental damage that attacks all enemies. It gets a bonus 10% ultimate mod, which makes this a 310 mod regardless. And if she's in Gate Fortune, she will gain an additional 15% of ultimate mod, which makes this a 325% modifier attack. Not bad. I mean, you know, that's not bad. 325 if she's in the Gate Fortune, 310 if she's just trying to do it regular. I don't know how big a 15% like damage increase is. I would say it's at least a decent, but I would try to go for the ultimate whenever she's in Gate. But we'll talk about her fortunes when we get to her inheritances, because that's going to be the main thing about her kit. Anyway, her first skill, Hey Panji. It is a one target attack that deals a maximum of 450% mental damage and inflicts poison to target for 2 rounds. And when the round ends, it takes standard poison damage, which is 30% of Genesis damage, which is unaffected by everything. And if the caster is in Emerald Fortune status, and it will inflict 1 additional stack of poison. This is pretty good because that means she can double poison something, which is not bad. I mean, putting up 2 stacks of poison on one enemy is not bad. It's a really good way to either help chunk down bosses, or it's a really good way to just start spreading down to really weaken a sub enemy. That way you can just kind of poison them down while you obviously deal damage with your main DPS, which is, you know, Jessica gonna be. So there's that. Next up is Old Divination, which is a 1 target attack that deals up to a maximum of 500% mental damage. If the caster's in Pearl Fortune, she will inflict 1 stack of confusion. Now, 1 stack of confusion is a little bit weird for someone like Kanjira. The reason being is because the teams that she wants to be on, not too many people really care about the critical resist, because Jessica herself only just has damage up, and that's really just it. I mean, most critical resist only really care for, like, you know, if they have like additional critical damage, or if they have a critical rate increase on their own kit. You could technically build Jessica for critical rate if you wanted to. It's a little bit of a spicy build, but most units in the plant affiliates don't really care. But again, it's still additional damage, so it's not like it's actively hurting anybody. It's also weird that the critical resist doesn't really do anything for Kanjira herself. Kanjira is obviously just sub DPSing, so the extra crit could be helpful, especially when you're trying to focus down one enemy. Again, if you get a crit, that's extra damage. It's just more, you know, it's just more numbers. But in the grand scheme of it all, right? It's not like it's a mandatory thing. It could have just been the 500% single target mental, and I don't think no one would have really batted an eye, so to speak. But yeah. But confusion, it's not bad. I'm not saying that it's not desired at all. It's, again, helpful, but it's not like it's a necessity compared to the poison. The poison's way more important because of, again, the main team she wants to be featured in. Now, there is a little bit of different options that you could run Kanjira in, but I'm gonna just kind of give you like her main team and why it works. So here's that. Next up is going to be her inheritances. So this is the main thing that we wanted to talk about. Her inheritances. So Insight 1. Her inheritances is where the whole core gimmick gets from the extra effects from her skills and her ultimate. So when a round begins, performs 1 of divination and requires each of these in every round in the sequence provided. So she's gonna get Emerald, then Pearl, then a Gate. It's always in this same sequence of 1, 2, 3. That's why it says it in this particular setting. It's always going to be you start with Emerald, you go to Pearl, and then you go a Gate. And they always alternate every single round. And of course, it's not like you can hold the Fortune, for example, to offset the turn. For example, if you're like, well, I don't need to use the extra poison right now from the Emerald, I'll just wait till next turn when my poison's falling off or something. No, it's, again, something that continuously stays up. So there's that. But of course, each of the various fortunes, we already talked about what they did. You know, Emerald giving you the extra poison, Pearl giving you the extra confusion, and then the Gate giving you the extra ultimate mind plus 15%. That's really just the key thing of what it does. It's just giving you extra bonuses on your skills. And the whole thing about her I1 is just making sure that you know how to navigate those inheritance. Make sure you know how to maneuver around the fortune, so that way you can get the most use of her abilities. That way you can just always kind of have it there. So there. Inside 2 is damage decrease minus 8%. Not bad. I mean, again, most I2s is either a hit or miss. This one is I mean, minus 8% damage decrease is good because she is a 5-star. She could be considered to be a little bit more frail. But other than that, And then I3 is just whenever attacking your target in negative status, which she can do with her, which she can do with poison and confusion, gives her additional ultimate might. So that bumps her mod from a 325 to a 335, which is not bad. Not bad. 335 ultimate might, not bad. Kind of getting closer to 350. Kind of getting closer. So it's going to talk about her portraits. Her portraits are of the following. Season Wonder effect is changed. If the caster is in Emerald Fortune status, when casting Hey Panji, it will inflict poison status for an additional round of duration. Now, her P1 is actually pretty good when combined with the poison team, because basically this means every single time she's in a gate, you can always loop her poisons around perfectly, because with 2 rounds, you have 1 round of downtime where she's not able to double poison something. While it's not directly the end of the world that she can't double poison, but with P1, then that means she just has the ability to basically recycle out her Emerald Fortune a lot more consistently. So that's really just it. That's really just it. But it's just pretty much more for just consistency than it is like, you know, a necessity, so to speak. So if you do get her to P1, again, if you're free to play, don't ever chase dupes unless you really like the character. She is a 5-star, so you may run into her more commonly if you are pulling for a Black Dwarf. But if you're not pulling for Black Dwarf and you're kind of just on the fence about just getting a Kanjira for your own Jessica teams, then again, don't chase a dupe unless you feel safe about your own resources. I've said this before. I recently posted a search pool about Black Dwarf on Reddit, and man, that thread went to shambles. But anyway, we'll go ahead and just let that slide. Anyway, so Old Divination's effect is changed from 1 to 2 to 3 stars, which deals a max of 550% of mental damage, just more damage, and 550 is pretty strong. And level 3, Season's Wonder effect is changed to when the caster is in a gate status. When casting the Strong Wonder, ultimate might is increased by 15%. So basically, her ultimate now gets 30% boost instead of 15. It's just an additional plus 15. That's why it's a little weird. It's a little weird because it's just plus 15 plus 15. So it's 330, 340, and then with the additional the I3, that's 350. So again, getting a little bit closer to that big number there. And level 4, which is Hey Panji, increases the effect of up to 500% of mental damage. Again, more damage. And Song of Wandering, the effect is changed to 350% mental damage. So we just took everything that we knew from the ultimate, so 350 plus 30 plus 10, that is 390, and then with the ultimate might, that is 400. So it becomes a 400% AoE. So I mean, pretty good. If you're able to get her to P5, then hey, congratulations, you got a 400% mod. Not bad. So let's go ahead and let's talk about her recommended cube. So if you're going for a budget option, Gurney Desire is pretty good because it gives her just damage up when a target's in negative status. So pretty good. That's pretty much the baby version to another card that's going to be the 6-star equivalent to it. But yeah, another 5-star version is going to be the Footloose. The Footloose does give damage dealt increase plus 8%, which is when she's above 50% HP, which she can consistently keep up, especially with damage reduction. It also gives her ultimate mod up, which if she's at P5, that becomes a 415% mod. Not bad at all. But the main one you want to put her on is going to be Blamshmark Knight. Now, if you're using her with Jessica, then again, you're probably going to have to find something else like Brave New World or Hopscotch or something that's a little bit more free for her. But yeah, but this one gives more incantation mod up, but again, it's just really for its effect of damage up when a target is under 2 or more negative statuses, which she does have the ability to do 2 or more negative statuses. And yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about her partner. Now, Jessica is arguably the best recommended partner for Kanjira because of, well, poison. That's pretty much it. Everybody knows that currently right now in global, the poison meta has started. It's with either her Sotheby in a third or her Kanjira in a third. Now, which one of the two should you run? Now, a lot of people say, if you have Sotheby, then you don't need Kanjira, which I'm willing to debate that statement, honestly. And the reason why I'm willing to debate the statement is because we do have 4-man content that also works, and we could also have situations where we may not just need the extra AoE spreading. For example, I feel like Kanjira might be in a better setting if it's AoE poison. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's a single target boss, my apologies there. If it's a single target boss, then Kanjira could technically be in a better setting because she can double poison the target. And then you have Jessica, who inflicts poison every odd turn from turns 1, 3, 6, and 9. That's 3 stacks of poison just out of the gate. And it's not even to say, right? It's not even to say that you don't necessarily have to not run her with Sotheby. I've seen a lot of people say that it's not really worth just to run her with Sotheby, which I don't think is ultimately the truth. I think you can technically, right? You can technically run them together because the thing is, Sotheby also acts as a mini healer in the team. So there's that. And for 4-man teams, it works out because you can run Jessica, you can run Sotheby, you can run Kanjira as your main 3, and then you can use your 4 for whatever you feel you need. You're not sure if the healing from Sotheby is enough, then you can maybe throw another real healer in there. If you're not sure that you're not getting enough damage, you can throw a buffer in there. So I do think for 4-man content, I do think that Kanjira Sotheby is still fine in terms of overall flexibility. But if you're thinking between a 3-man team for a single target boss, I do think that Jessica Kanjira could potentially pan out a little bit better. While Kanjira has a lesser attack because again 5-star rarity, it's still more stacks at the poison that you're getting up because Sotheby only does 1 stack of poison, right, to a target, but she has a lot of turns where she can keep that poison going, especially on a level 3. Level 3 is 5 rounds to 2 enemies, which is pretty good. But it's really just that. But that's really just the key thing there. The key thing there is that I do think that for the main part, I think Kanjira only works with the Jessica comp. I think that's her preferred comp. I do think that's her main focus comp for the time being. For the time being, I think it's going to be that comp. Who knows that there could be another 6-star. There hasn't been any 6-star plant units or any new I don't think there's been anything new for plant since Jessica. So it might come a time and place where Kanjira could see a little bit more viability. Of course, she's a 5-star, so it's not like she's in particularly going to be gone forever type of thing like other 6-stars are. So there's that. But if you ask me whether or not if you should pull for Kanjira, it's a maybe. It's a maybe for me because again, with Jessica and Sotheby, as I keep referencing here in this video, you have enough to just pretty much shred poison on an enemy consistently. So it's not like you're really hurting for any type of thing. 2 stacks or 3 stacks is still enough to really start chipping away at the enemy. And especially with how much damage Jessica does, then it's that. But if you don't have Soul to Beat, or you're looking to maybe experience with more stacking of poison, then yeah, you could go for Kanjira, because again, 4-man teams do exist in places like UTTU or Limbo, so it's ultimately a option that does work for Kanjira. So I do think that she's at least considerable as a pulling option. Of course, she is again a 5-star, so it shouldn't be too bad to get her, but I have seen people go all the way to pity and not get the single on banner 5-star. So again, do with that what you will. Of course, make sure you are very cautious of your own pulling resources. And yeah, but that's gonna be it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.